10 on the Kiwi this morning.
You're listening to the Radio Wammo Breakfast, only on Kiwi.
Well, the best ideas are free, so says Ben Young, entrepreneur. 63 easily digestible ideas to chew on is the name of his brand new book. Debut, I think, on the book stage. Ben Young joining me in the Kiwi studio. Hey, Ben.
Good morning.
At Bwaggy, B-W-A-G-Y.
Yep, that's
on
me
Twitter. On Twitter as well. What does that mean, by the way?
That's actually my initials. My parents are a little bit greedy, and my full name's Benjamin William Alexander George Young.
Oh, there you go.
So that
nice.
was my business name.
Yeah, God, that's quite. Have you got any degrees you could add to the beginning of that or at the end of it as well?
Oh, yeah, just a standard bachelor's.
It would look quite good written down, to be honest.
I've got enough. Like putting that on a business card's tough.
Hey, well, this is your first book, isn't it?
That's my first book.
Now, this book came basically from your blog.
Yep.
Where every day you post ideas.
Yep. Essentially, every business day, I just jump onto my blog and share a thought, an assumption, a theory, an idea that I have, or if I keep having a conversation with someone and I keep repeating an idea, like in the book, one of them is, "Are you made of rubber?"
Yeah.
And I work mainly with internet startups. And quite often I'll hit them and I've had a bad day, like a business deal's gone sour, and I'm just like, well, you got to imagine that you're like a rubber ball. As soon as you hit bottom, you need to bounce up really fast. So that was just an idea that I shared on the blog, and now it's in the book.
If you say you work with internet startups, what do you actually do with them?
Day to day I do marketing strategy. So that is the missing component in a lot of online businesses. Most of them are geek kind of programmer driven, so they get their product out there, but they're not sure what to do next. So that's where I come in.
So is that, and you're sort of the man who says how to get from idea to customer.
Yeah.
Right. And how did you come about to be doing this? You know, why?
It's one of those things that you kind of stumble into. I've been involved in internet marketing for over a decade. I lived out on a farm, and in the winter there wasn't much to do, and my dad was involved in the online world, so I kind of slipped into it. And then through high school and university I did freelancing in internet marketing, and because I've been in the industry so long...
It's just because you had a general interest in it?
Yeah, I think it's quite good because I have a real fascination with science and then the sociology part, and internet marketing brings the two together because you get so much data. It's very scientific in analysing it, but you get the other side of bringing the marketing to that.
So as in the data is like how many web hits you get, that kind of thing.
Time on site, engagement, those kind of
the demographics and whatnot. Have you ever marketed your own product or service or
this is my first book. Up until now, during university, I started and sold several small businesses. Once I left uni, I did some travel, and then I headed up internet marketing at an internet startup. After about 5 or 6 months, I realised that I had to be doing this on my own, so I went out on my own and started Bwaggy and started the blog in tandem with that. So a lot of the content in the book is the learnings that I garner from starting a business from scratch, doing consulting, working on your business model, all those kind of things. Yeah.
So has every thought you've had actually made it into the book, or have some kind of dropped by the wayside, failed?
No. For every post that gets on my blog, there are about 3 that are deleted. If you look at my blog every day, for the one that's on there, I'm selecting that out of a pool of sometimes up to 100. So there's 63 ideas in here. There's over 300 on my blog, and there's probably another 1,000 that didn't make it onto the blog. So there's a lot of filters in there.
How do you come up with a new idea every day, or a new thought?
It's just my ongoing curiosity. I look at the world, or I'm doing something, and I'll just question the norm. Why is it done like that?
Are you reading a lot? Are you reading other people's ideas quite a lot and sort of siphoning them off?
I read a lot of media, online and offline, so I read quite a lot of business books and a lot of blogs. I would read at least probably 8 hours a week of online blogs.
Yeah. What kind of feedback do you get on your blog?
It's quite contrasting. You get a lot of people where the idea that you've put out there has hit them at the right time. Like one of the most popular chapters in the book is you can do what you want, and when I put that out there, it actually hit someone at the right time where they were kind of tipping to make the decision to quit their job and kind of follow their passion, and that tipped them.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, that's enough. Like, I need to go and do this. So that is one of the most common types of feedback. Last week I did one called the Rule of Three. I was talking about what do you charge when you go out on your own and you start consulting or freelancing, and 2 people got back to me and they're like, this is the same problem that we've been having.
Yeah.
And that is quite popular. Tom Peters, the management business speaker, he starts off every talk with, you already know what I'm about to say, but you've forgotten because you're in the trenches. And that is an element of the book.
Right.
You know about it, but you need to be told it at the right time.
Right. So this kind of it's the sort of book you go through and relive, re-spark, I suppose, those ideas that are probably already in your head.
Yeah.
And those concepts.
Yeah.
Would you say a lot of them are concepts?
Some are concepts. Most of them are fresh ideas based on old models. The interesting thing is, it's not the content itself, it's what people take away from it. As you say, it kind of re-sparks, hey, I wanted to do this, or maybe I'm not doing this right.
You now also write as a guest blogger on the NZ Herald website.
Yep.
If I remember rightly, for your very first post, you got a lot of flack for what you were saying there, and I think it was about the 12-hour startup.
Yep.
Explain that.
Well, one of the first chapters in the book is the 12-hour startup, and my thought was, talking to my friends that worked in small business, often employees have an idea that they want to try out, and they sit on it for 3 or 4 years. But the thing about these ideas is that they hold on to them for quite a while, and then they finally get to try them, and then more often than not, they're actually rubbish because they don't understand the business itself. Like, their customers may not actually buy it, it may be too expensive to execute.
Right.
So I was pondering this, and I came up with this idea of the 12-hour startup, that maybe once every 3 or 6 months a company could take a day off and give their employees the chance to put together new products or concepts to deliver, and then actually have customers at the end of the day come and vet the ideas and run with them. Now, the key thing is not the ideas themselves, it's the process.
Right.
Because by getting rid of the rubbish ideas, you actually create the vacuum for the better ideas. So you do this 3 or 4 times, and suddenly you have a change in mindset.
And I think rightly, you got the flack from employers was saying, there's no way we can afford time, 12 hours a week or whatever it was. There's no way we can afford this time to, for our employees to go dilly-dallying off with crazy ideas. That was the feedback you received.
And that's a fair call. I wasn't suggesting to do it every month. I think every 6 months people can afford 12 hours. Just how much time do your employees spend on Facebook?
Yeah.
Cut Facebook, increase innovation.
But increase workplace angst, possibly. Yeah. Now something else interesting that you're doing with the new book, The Best Ideas Are Free. You've created an iPhone app.
Yep.
It's in conjunction with it. Tell us about that.
Well, the book came about because blogs are only a drop in the water. Only so many people read them, and when you read an idea in a book, the perspective changes. You actually critically accept it. Whereas if it's on a blog, you almost distrust it
because it's not not in a serious format.
Yeah.
Is it? Right.
So by putting it into a new format, people take the ideas seriously. So once I made that leap, I thought, well, why don't I share it online? So if you actually go to the book website, you can read the whole book online for free. So once I'd done that, I thought, okay, let's take this a step further. Let's put this on the iPhone, because all of the chapters are very small and easy to read, and it's a perfect avenue. Say you're sitting on the bus, why not, open the book and read a few chapters?
Is this the first time this has ever been done?
As far as I know, yes.
A book has been released at the same time on the iPhone in conjunction.
I've had a look. I seem to be the first.
Well, there's a that's kind of stands alone in its own marketing sort of landscape there, isn't it?
But the whole thing is really new. It's the first time that someone's taken a book in this kind of format. It was actually quite risky. How many books are read in a conversational manner, which is how the blog is written.
Right.
So at each of the steps, I've done a lot of research to see what the norm is, and just like any of my ideas, question the assumptions and come up with something new.
Like the infinity assumption.
Yes. Well, the interesting thing is, if you are in an article in a magazine, that's good for September, but by November you've forgotten.
Yeah.
But if you put something online, if you do not delete it, chances are your great-great-grandkids are going to be able to read it. So,
you think so? Do you think the internet is going to stay around in perpetuity? You think the videos on YouTube right now will still be there in 5 years' time, 10 years' time?
Yes, I think they will be, because over time the cost of deleting them will exceed the cost of keeping them.
Interesting. Well, I'd love to have you back to talk ideas on a regular basis, if you're willing, Ben.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
The website, where can people go to find you?
www.thebestideasarefree.com.
And your blog site?
Blog.bwaggy.com. That's blog.bwagy.com.
And on Twitter?
At Bwaggy. BWAGY again.
And anyone can hit you up and have a conversation?
Yep. I'd love to hear everyone's feedback. That is a crucial thing. Hearing back from people, what they think, their thoughts. Yeah.
Cool, Ben. Thanks very much.
Cool. Thanks.